Welcome to this special episode of Shabbat with a Schmear. Actually, first of all, it's not actually Shabbat with a Schmear because I'm here with Shabbat Mom Meredith Berkman, but we're not actually sitting together in Barney Greengrass, but we're virtual. But we're virtual with Shavuot with a Schmear because this week we celebrate the holiday of Shavuot. And Meredith, it's a special holiday, especially on the Upper West Side, because for the past number of years, the JCC, the Marlene Meyerson JCC, has sponsored an amazing tikkun where literally several thousand people come to the JCC all night long and study and get together and eat cheesecake and do all these amazing things. And this year, it's not going to happen because we can't get together. We're not allowed to get together. And there's going to be a virtual, and there'll be something that, for the people who use, electronics on the holiday, there'll be something for them all night. And for those people who don't use electronics, there'll be something sent out beforehand. But how do you feel about having the holiday of Shavuot and missing the most important element of all?
Well, I guess it really depends also on where you stand in the very varied world of halacha, right? Because people who I guess would call themselves, quote, liberal, who would use Zoom or would, use live stream on a Chag or on Shabbat, those people will have the digital version of this tikkun in memory of Paul Feig. And others won't. And that's particularly heartbreaking because one of the beauties of that tikkun is that it has become a sort of post-denominational hub for those who celebrate Shavuot and mark it with all-night learning. And so that is a loss, not only for those who won't be able to participate because for halakhic reasons, they won't use electronics on the holiday, but also for those, I would suspect, and myself included, who would use a live stream or a Zoom on a Chag or on Shabbat, because the beauty of that particular celebration is that it's people from all walks of Judaism coming together in a way that I think all of us would all Jews of all strains would aspire to, or so many of us would. So that's really difficult. And so actually, Rabbi Mintz, well, first of all, having a Schmear on Shavuot, you can still have as much dairy and cheesecake as your wife will allow you. That's number one. That doesn't go away. But that's minchag. That's not halakhic. But I would challenge you and say, what do you think could be a new tradition that would be inclusive, would lead people to a sense of community that we have in the past been able to experience both spiritually, even physically in the same space, religiously, intellectually. What could we do is an idea to have that physical tikkun the day before the holiday. And it's not called the tikkun, but it marks the time of Shavuot so that everyone can come together. And then those who choose to do something online and those who choose not to don't. What do you think? Tossing it right back.
I accept it. I mean, this is really the challenge. Because, studying, if you want to stay up all night and study, you can, but we both know that even the most religious are not going to stay up all night by themselves and study where there's not even a synagogue to go to first thing in the morning. It's just not what's going to happen. But I think you said it right, especially for us in Manhattan. What we're missing is this moment in the year when we all come together, where we all join together in the JCC, regardless of our background, regardless of our denomination. And maybe this is the moment to just take that moment and to commit ourselves to working together as an Upper West Side community or wherever you happen to be, to work together as a community and to realize, as the first chief rabbi of Israel always liked to say, that which unites us is far greater than that which divides us. And maybe that's the lesson for this Shavuot. We can't be together to live it, but we can be together just to feel it. And to maybe everyone should take upon themselves this Shavuot to do something to show that what unites us is far greater than what divides us.
I think that's a very beautiful moment, a very beautiful ideal, and I hope that we can all live up to that. And on the practical level, I was just wondering, we talk so much as New Yorkers about the 7 o'clock when people go out with their, with their clapping of the hands or the banging of the pots. But, there's that really beautiful moment. And I have to say, I'm not the member of the family that is usually there. Actually, one of my kids often is. But that moment when the sun rises and, there's a surge, you've stayed up all night, maybe one thing we can think about is maybe all of us who are certainly here in New York are thinking about that moment. Maybe we all commit to standing outside at the moment of sunrise and, without electronics, even if you use it, and maybe just knowing that people are doing that at the same moment together, as a way of commemorating those however long you studied during the night. Maybe that is a moment to know that there would be others doing the same thing at that same moment of sunrise. Maybe that would be a sort of physical manifestation of the ideal that you just gave us.
I mean, I think that's beautiful, and especially sunrise, because that's what we're all praying for. And that is sunrise, that the sun should rise, that, the idea of new beginnings and of hope and of positiveness. And I think that would be a really wonderful tradition to begin. So I think what we see this Shavuot is it's really a challenge. I think each community is going to have to come up with an idea to mark it. Because I think we would both agree that the worst thing would be to just give it up, to just forget about it this year. The fact that we have a challenge, we need to rise to the challenge, whether we commit ourselves.
Power of our peoplehood. We're going, Am Yisrael Chai. We will move forward, and we will all, Jewish or not, move forward. We don't have a choice. We have a choice in how we do it, but we don't have a choice.
Fantastic. Chag Sameach. Be well.
Thank you, too.